or client, we look forward to getting to know you. Reach out today.
Right now at 6, police in Neosho, Missouri are looking for a suspect in the shooting that happened last Tuesday.
And we've got some showers out there, we've got clouds, we've got fog, all of that sticking around. We're going to take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, we'll learn the next steps for the Carthage City Council after they postponed the decision to censor one of its members.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So another foggy day out there.
Yep, it is.
Rain and all that stuff. It's dreary, but again, we know it could be a lot worse around here. We've experienced a lot worse around here. Those of you, Amber, you haven't been here your whole life, of course.
I'm only about 2 years in.
2 years in, but in 2 years, you've seen quite a bit in that 2-year period.
Yes, I have.
And for those of us who have been here forever, man, we have seen some interesting things around the 4 states in terms of weather. And today, though, not very interesting. It's just like yesterday, day before that. It is foggy. We do have dense fog out there. Our camera on the Cornell complex showing that fog continuing to thicken up in Joplin. MoDOT cameras around the metro, again, still seeing that dense fog increasing out there. And as such, of course, we have some dense fog advisories. We also have some showers on the Skywatch storm tracker out there. They're relatively scattered at this point, but as we head a little further south, they will not be so scattered as we head a little later to the morning as we get a little more rain activity in here. As we look around the area, again, most locations, we've got just a handful that are reporting decent visibility. So Newada, Veneta, 3 miles, that's still not good. But most of us at or below 1 mile visibility. And again, another round of these dense fog advisories, the entire area, Kansas, Missouri through noon, Oklahoma, Arkansas until 10 a.m. As we take a quick look outside, we're sitting at 40 in Joplin, fog thickening up, getting more drizzle now in Pittsburgh. This is KDOT camera just south of there, some pretty decent drizzle, and that can reduce visibilities as well, sitting at 38 degrees. Kids getting on the bus, we are talking about some fog, we're talking about some rain, low 40s, calm breeze out there. Not a lot of movement in temperatures, but we're going to go about 44 by 3 when that bus brings them home. Mostly cloudy skies, fog, west breeze 5 to 10. Some of us may see a few peaks of sunshine today. Not all of us will, but some of us may. Outside of that, though, once the rain clears out, say about 1 o'clock, temperatures mid-upper 40s, and we're going to continue to deal with patchy fog across the area through the morning, afternoon, evening, and into our Friday as well. We're also watching the possibility for, well, this letter is what it starts with, and that's heading into our Saturday. We're going to talk about that in the full forecast a little later. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Police in Neosho, Missouri are searching for a suspect in a shooting. It happened around 7:30 Tuesday at the 800 block of Riverside Drive. When police arrived, they were told a man, 40-year-old Freddie Rodriguez of Neosho, was found in the street with a gunshot wounds in his left arm and armpit. He was then located at the hospital in stable conditions. Authorities say the suspect shooter is 21-year-old Jose Rivera, also from Neosho. They say Rivera and Rodriguez know each other, and Rivera ran after the shooting. A warrant has been issued for Rivera's arrest. A Baxter Springs, Kansas man will spend 50 years behind bars for child sex crimes. A judge yesterday sentenced 40-year-old Jeremy Strout to 50 years in prison. In November, Strout was convicted of 3 counts of rape and 1 count of aggravated indecent liberties with a child. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly yesterday announced the recipients of the latest round of grants from the Historic Economic Asset Lifeline, or HIL program. The program helps revitalize downtown buildings. 5 Southeast Kansas organizations received funds. Nearly $51,000 are going to Chanute Regional Development Authority. The cities of Columbus and Parsons get $100,000 each. Girard Main Street is getting $10,000, and the Independence Chamber of Commerce gets $100,000. Carthage City Council members should discuss the proposed resolution to censor one of its members in their next meeting on February 13th. The decision to delay the discussion was made at Tuesday night's meeting, a busy one. The council members at the center of the discussion is Tiffany Causey. In the agenda, the discussion about Causey was scheduled to be a closed session. Causey and some residents argued that the council should discuss the resolution open to the public, but it was kept as a closed session. Just after 10 p.m., once the closed session was over, council members voted to table the censure until the next meeting.
I've only had about 31 hours notice to prepare for this type of thing, and in there I had to find time to sleep and go to work 2 times, so I've had almost no time to prepare, and I feel that it would have been unfair for them to have continued with the resolution tonight.
I thought that it should be an open meeting. I thought that they should be able to talk about it, and they chose not to. I think there again, we don't have clarity, we don't have honesty.
According to City Administrator Greg Dagan, the information discussed in closed session is confidential because there are city employees involved, and the information is protected by the city's HR policies. He also explained that a censure is an opinion of the council, that they disagree with the council person's action, but doesn't remove the member from the council. We tried reaching out to all of the council members and the mayor before and after the meeting, but only 2 answered their phones and said they had no comments. You can read the full story explaining why the resolution was proposed at KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. 5 universities have agreed to settle an ongoing financial aid lawsuit against the more than a dozen other schools. Plus, the 2-person fight for the GOP nomination continues, even though former President Trump has picked up wins in Iowa and New Hampshire. We have the latest. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Toyota.
Get 4.99% APR for 60 months on 6 of Toyota's favorite models. Toyota. Let's go places.
Top in Nation Watch this morning, Cosmix, the new McDonald's drink store spinoff, appears to be getting off to a strong start. The debut Cosmix in Illinois had more than twice the visits than a typical McDonald's saw nationally during the month of December. That's according to a report from Placer AI, which uses data from mobile devices to estimate visits to specific spots. Business analysts say Cosmix is McDonald's attempt to go after coffee companies like Starbucks. It featured drinks like Churro Frappy, S'mores Cold Brew, and Popping Pear Slush. 9 other Cosmix are scheduled to open later this year. Seasonal work for the winter holidays may be over, but now job seekers have a new place to look. The restaurant chain is gearing up for what is called burrito season. Chipotle says it's the busiest time of the year is March through May. So to prepare for that, the company needs to hire 19,000 people. Chipotle hopes to attract workers by offering a 4% 401k match for employees who make eligible student loan payments. The company is also offering 6 free sessions with a licensed counselor and a Visa card that gives faster access to paychecks. 5 universities have agreed to settle an ongoing financial aid lawsuit against more than a dozen other schools. In court filings, Yale, Columbia, Duke, Brown, and Emory universities will pay a combined $100.5 million to settle their proportions of the case. In 2022, 16 top universities were sued by 5 former students who claimed those schools were in violation of antitrust law. The lawsuit alleges the universities ignored their pledge to not weigh a student's ability to pay tuition when considering whether or not to accept. The schools deny any wrongdoing or liability in the settlement. Columbia and Duke agreed to pay out $24 million each. Brown is settling for $19.5 million, while Yale and Emory agreed to settle for $18.5 million each. The Biden administration is reportedly considering an overhaul of the way federal agencies approve mass natural gas export projects. That's according to an environmental advocacy source source who is familiar with the plans. The source also says the overhaul would essentially pause the approval process of the controversial gas project called CP2, among others. The administration will reportedly require the Energy Department to consider the climate impacts of liquefied natural gas facilities when making public interest determinations. That's a key step needed to approve those kind of facilities. The Energy Department has never rejected a proposed natural gas project on those grounds. The White House has declined to comment. Today, a former President Donald Trump trade advisor is expected to be sentenced. Peter Navarro is convicted last year for not complying with a 2022 subpoena issued by the former House Elect Committee that investigated the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Last week, the judge denied his request to redo the trial. Navarro's attorney had argued that jurors may have been influenced by political protesters when they took a break during deliberations before announcing the verdict. They claim it was grounds for a mistrial. Federal prosecutors want a 6-month prison sentence for Navarro. His attorneys, however, are asking for a sentence of no more than 6 months probation and a $200 fine. The two-person fight for the GOP nomination continues, even though former President Trump has picked up wins in Iowa and New Hampshire, the first two states to kick off the 2024 election season. Rival Nikki Haley is hoping her home state to give a boost to their campaign. President Biden has also hit the campaign trail, calling out his 2020 opponent while picking up the endorsement of one of the country's largest unions. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Nikki Haley, defying pressure to drop out of the GOP presidential race, is calling out former President Donald Trump.
Get on a debate stage and let's go. Bring it, Donald. Show me what you got.
The former South Carolina governor announced at a rally in her home state that she's raised over $1 million since finishing behind Trump again in New Hampshire Tuesday. A seemingly perturbed Trump posted on social media that anyone who contributes to Haley's campaign will be permanently barred from the MAGA camp.
She's not going to win.
While the GOP primary is technically prolonged, President Biden has already started to pivot to the general election, sharpening his attacks on his predecessor.
He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who lost jobs when he was president.
Yesterday, the president picked up a major endorsement from the United Auto Workers Union. Mr. Biden was the first sitting president to appear on a picket line with members during their 6-week-long strike against the big three automakers last year.
Donald Trump is a scab. Joe Biden bet on the American worker while Donald Trump blamed the American worker.
Today, President Biden is traveling to the battleground state of Wisconsin to tout his administration's accomplishments on infrastructure. On the GOP side, Haley has more rallies lined up in South Carolina in the coming days, while Trump will turn his focus out west with events planned in Arizona and Nevada this weekend. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Former President Trump is also continuing to split his time between courtroom and the campaign trail, confirming that he will once again attend proceedings of the second New York defamation trial civil suit brought against him by writer E. Jean Carroll. Meanwhile, Maine's top court has dismissed an appeal from the state's top elections official over whether Trump can appear on the primary ballot there. Maine's Secretary of State had determined he was disqualified, though a lower court judge ruled that the U.S. Supreme Court must first issue its decision on a similar Colorado case. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now, here's Chris with your forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to deal with showers across the area. We also have dense fog across the area. Most locations at or below 1 mile of visibility. Dense fog advisories as well into Missouri and Kansas. These will run through noon again today. And in Oklahoma and Arkansas, these dense fog advisories run until 9 this morning. However, wouldn't be surprised to see more of these dense fog advisories with more fog on the way and that 4-letter S word. Yeah, that's in our future as well. We'll talk about that full forecast a little later here on the KOAM Morning News.
We love our pets.
Furniture, North Main and Fountain Road in Joplin.
Johnson, Voorhees, and Martucci. Don't settle for less.
It was a cat fight at a cat show, but it wasn't between two felines. The cat attacked one of the judges, hissing, slapping, and swiping at the veteran judge. Janine Moose reports.
They get stroked, they get lifted, they get stretched, they get their tails touched. No wonder a 2-year-old named Ludwig von Beethoven lost his composure. He even slapped the judge. Veteran Judge Vicky Nye says she fondly refers to the video
as the Black Cat Smackdown.
The pedigreed show cats are accustomed to the commotion of a show like this one in Mesa, Arizona, organized by the Cat Fanciers Association. But Beethoven was a first-timer competing in the household pet category.
That one was just terrifying. When you see the eyes going like that.
And though Vicky gave him plenty of compliments,
beautiful coat, shiny, nice green eyes,
Beethoven turned on her, though the judge didn't even get scratched.
I need the owner now.
Contestant 177 in the background was freaked. Did you actually attack a judge? Vicky says she's only been bitten twice in 35 years of judging. Okay, so this slap may not compare with, say, the famous Oscar slap. Cats have gone ballistic on everyone from reporters.
The couple is going to have to come right
to a guy.
He's a very loving cat.
Trying to get a shelter cat adopted. So loving, he bit the guy perilously close to his crotch. As for Beethoven...
So this cat did not get a ribbon?
No, that kitty was actually disqualified.
His owner said sorry, but for the feline Beethoven, the cat show seemed more cacophony than symphony. Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
You know, I would think they would have like some catnip on the side just in case for situations like that, but I'm not a cat person.
I think that other cat was the one with the catnip. The one was just
staring at it.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was like, "Whoa,
what is this? What's going on here?" That was funny. I really thoroughly enjoyed that one. That was pretty good. I was sitting back just relaxing. That was a good story there. All right, what is not such a good story, unfortunately, is our forecast. We're dealing with the dense fog across the area continuing to increase, and we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with showers, and we're going to deal with snow. Unfortunately, heading into the weekend, we're going to take a look at that full forecast right after this.
Crop Division with over 75 years of combined experience in ag and insurance.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:23 coming up on 6:24 on this Thursday morning. Another foggy one out there. We started off with at least reasonable visibility around the Joplin area, but as you can see, our camera on the Cornell complex and from MoDOT cameras around the area, that visibility is beginning to decrease out there. KDOT camera on 69 just south of Pittsburgh at East 520th Avenue. It will pop up here any second. There it is. And you can see visibility has dropped significantly since about 15 minutes ago. We're also getting some pretty decent drizzle out there as well. Visibilities across the region save small areas, most of us at or below 1 mile of visibility, and of course that includes virtually every major highway in the area. So as you start your day, it's another day. We got to remind you, use your low beams, not your high beams. The fog will last into the afternoon. You got to leave your headlights on for that. And we got more information on the legalities of your headlights and in fog situations on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Dense fog advisories across the area. Missouri Missouri and Kansas until noon. Oklahoma, Arkansas until 9 a.m. Sorry, they've been going through 10. They go until 9 a.m. today. Showers increasing across the area and will continue to do so as we see this activity roll in from eastern Oklahoma. And we'll deal with the rain through about 1 o'clock today before we'll get a bit of a dry spell ahead of more rain chances. 40 in Joplin. It is clearly foggy out there, so actually it's not so clear, but it is obviously foggy. Temperatures around the region similar to the last few days. Out to the northwest, a little cooler, low mid 30s, and as you head further south and east, we get into the upper 30s and even low 40s. Look at Monette now checking in at 44 degrees out there. As I mentioned, the rain will persist until, say, about 1 o'clock or so, and it'll clear out, and we're going to go mostly cloudy. So some of us may see a few peaks of sun. Others, you may not see really any sunshine today. All of us continuing to deal with patchy fog. We go into tomorrow morning. We got the fog again to start the day, and we're dry initially. And then by the evening, that's when we see more showers start to roll in. And then by Saturday, there comes that snow, and it starts about Saturday morning and could last into the late morning and even the early afternoon hours before it exits on out of here. Now, the good news is we're not expecting this snow to stick to the roads. It's been too warm. We've had too much rain, but it could stick to grassy surfaces, and it could be a heavy wet snow, which could reduce visibilities and also could see an inch or so on those grassy surfaces out there. Through to the morning, fog, showers, low 40s by late morning. The rain again kicks out by early afternoon. We're going to be mostly cloudy, still some patchy fog out there, mid to upper 40s for our highs. As we head into tonight, we're going to be cloudy, dealing with that fog, could be dense at times, back into the upper 30s and low 40s. As we look ahead, we're mid 50s tomorrow. We'll have that rain later in the evening and afternoon, the rain-snow mix Saturday, and then we warm back up 60 by next Wednesday, sunshine Monday and Wednesday, maybe a few shower chances next Tuesday. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Amber with Health Watch.
Researchers in Chicago have developed a use of ultrasounds to predict the risk of a baby arriving prematurely. The new method measures microscopic changes in a woman's cervix. Doctors say the ultrasound technique works early as 23 weeks into pregnancy. There are significant racial and ethnic disparities in dementia care. That's a finding of a study from UC Davis Health, which shows minorities are less likely than white patients to get accurate dementia diagnostics and be prescribed anti-dementia medication. The authors say more research is needed to understand the reason for the disparities, and how to fix them. A new facial recognition app is being used on dogs to improve rabies vaccination rates. Researchers from Washington State University used the app at a rabies clinic in Africa. When they later visited surrounding villages, they were able to tell which dogs were vaccinated and which ones still needed protection from rabies. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
Refined or rustic, we have it all at the Home Store in downtown Park.
Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com.
Are you game?
I am ready.
Then take a spin on the Wheel of Fortune.
Right now at 6:30, Joplin business owners came together for the annual Business Expo.
We've got another foggy start to our day out there. Dense fog advisories, rain through the morning, and warmer temperatures by Friday. We'll look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, yesterday was National Change a Pet's Life Day. We'll hear from a local pet hospital dealing with overpopulation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got the fog once again. It is, you're going to think that this is a broken record, just stuck on repeat. But it's just the way it's been. This is day 3 of starting our days with fog. In fact, we had fog most of the day yesterday, most of the day before that, and we're going to have fog through most of the day today, and we can see some of that fog from the MoDOT cameras around the metro area, so it's starting to thicken up like we mentioned earlier, and we do have dense fog advisories out there, which we'll talk about. We also are seeing more showers start to roll into the area, and we're going to continue to see them as they continue to work up from eastern Oklahoma And you can see the rain thickening up, and we'll be dealing with rain through the early afternoon hours. Visibilities in most locations are at, or in all honesty, below 1 mile out there, and that includes just about all of the major highways in our area. So slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Use your low beams, not your high beams. And as we mentioned earlier, we've got a full list of the actual legalities related to headlight usage during daytime fog on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, dense fog advisories, Kansas and Missouri until noon, Oklahoma, Arkansas until 9 a.m. today. We are sitting at 40 in Joplin. You can see that fog getting thicker. And we've been dealing with some fairly heavy drizzle and some fog in Pittsburgh, 38 there. And so we got the wet roadways and, of course, reduced visibilities. Kids getting on the bus, foggy, some showers, calm breeze, and we're sitting about 42 degrees. When that bus brings them home, we're going to still be dealing with some patchy fog. We're going to be mostly cloudy, 44, west breeze at 5 to 10. So some of us may actually see some sunlight today. Not everybody will, unfortunately, but some of you may get a few breaks in the clouds here and there. Rain will continue until, say, about 1, 2 o'clock today, and then it'll clear out, but it's going to leave behind that fog, and that fog could be dense at times, especially as we head through the evening and overnight, with our highs today mid to upper 40s across the area. As we mentioned before, we do have some snow chances in our forecast, but there's some good news and bad news about that snow. We'll talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Yesterday was National Change a Pet's Life Day. According to the ASPCA, roughly 6.3 million companion animal pets enter animal shelters every year. Parsons Pet Hospital is just one of the local shelters feeling the strain that comes with caring for a high volume of animals. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
Spike and Annie are a doggy duo that were just surrendered to the Parsons Pet Hospital. After the unfortunate passing of their owner, these two now have nowhere to go.
Had the two dogs that were relinquished. That's what breaks my heart, and I'm gonna start crying right now. Yeah. So to say, what's your favorite part about shelter? There just really isn't a favorite part. I don't think there should have to be a shelter for animals. They should all have homes.
In a perfect world, Shelley's wish would be a reality. Unfortunately for Annie and Spike, it could be a while before they get to go to a new home.
If it were a case of just a temporary issue with all of our animals, then it probably wouldn't be so heartbreaking. But we do have a lot of animals that have been here for months, and there are so many bigger dogs that unfortunately don't have a whole lot of chances. People just aren't. Everybody wants that cute little puppy.
Many of these animals may not be that perfect puppy or kitty, but all of them are ready to be loved by a family.
We just try to provide a safe and loving environment where they can grow, enrich, try to find their personality so we can find them the perfect home.
Not everyone can adopt, but Shelley has a recommendation for that.
We could sure use some donations. We could use some volunteers. Come out and play with these animals. They don't get people playing with them, and we don't always have all that time. And you can sponsor an adoption. Maybe you can't adopt yourself, but you can sponsor an adoption and somebody else could potentially give a home.
Reporting in Parsons, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
For more information about pet adoptions, just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. It's police versus fire with the Battle of the Badges in Pittsburgh. The two departments are competing in their annual chili cook-off with the American Red Cross. People donating blood yesterday and today can try both types of chili and then vote for their favorite. Organizers say the event has brought in more than 100 signups for donations. The fire and police departments both say the competition is heating up.
So we've got a roaster full of chili from the fire department, a roaster full of chili from the police department. As everybody comes through, they give blood, they get a ballot, and they get a vote on which chili they think is best.
We brought it home the last couple of years. We razz each other back and forth on who's got the best, and it's just a lot of fun.
The winner of the Battle of the Badges will receive a 2024 trophy once all the votes are counted. The public yesterday got to know some Joplin businesses better. The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce held its 31st annual Business Expo. It started Tuesday evening with a business after hours event for local entrepreneurs to network. Then this morning, business owners had a chance to check out all the booths set up. The public was allowed to explore the expo starting at noon, learning about all the area has to offer.
We continue to see growth. We continue to sell out every year for the Business Expo, and we see new businesses. We're always seeing new businesses participate in Expo, but we also have our regulars that come back every year, which we appreciate.
This is the 31st year of the Business Expo. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in KOAM Morning News. Tax Day will be here before you know it, and there's some significant changes this year. We'll have the details. Plus, rain chances continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Go right ahead.
You're the expert here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but we do have those foggy conditions, rain across the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Smith.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Tax Day will be here before you know it, and there's some significant changes this year that could mean more money in your wallet. Jen Sullivan explains ways you can earn a bigger tax refund.
You may be receiving your W-2 form soon if you haven't already. And while the tax deadline is still a few months away, tax experts recommend filing your taxes early.
Get your taxes in.
As you begin to fill out your 2023 taxes, you may notice some differences. The IRS made several changes to the income tax brackets to help adjust for inflation.
They adjust certain tax benefits every year, but for tax year 2023 is the most they've been adjusted up in decades.
This means you may end up with a bigger refund. Here's why. In 2022, a person filing as single, earning between $41,766 to $89,075, paid 22% of their income to the IRS. In 2023, though, that tax bracket jumped to $44,726 to $95,375. That's a 7% change. Other changes? The amount of money you can claim in energy credits.
We always had the electric vehicle credit for up to $7,500, but there's also a credit for used electric vehicles now up to $4,000.
If you've made energy efficient improvements to your home, like installing new windows, you can also claim up to $1,200 in credits with no lifetime limits, instead of $500, which is what it was previously. There's also changes in tax credits for families.
If you're a family with 3 kids, it's $7,430.
So how much money can you expect to receive back? Last year, the IRS says the average refund was $3,039. But with the tax bracket changes, you can expect more. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
If you do qualify for a refund, you'll receive that money within 6 to 8 weeks. But the IRS says it will be even sooner if you choose direct deposit. Bottles of Robitussin Honey CF Max Day and Nighttime Adult Cough Syrup are being recalled nationwide due to risk of microbial contamination. The manufacturer says the contamination could lead to deadly infections for at-risk people, though most users are unlikely to experience a serious health problem. The recall bottles have expiration dates of October, May, and September of 2025 and June of 2026. Ford is recalling nearly 2 million Explorer SUVs because of the piece of a trim near the windshield could potentially fly off and cause an accident. The recall impacts all Explorers from the model years 2011 through 2019. Ford says it's unaware of any injuries linked to the recall. The letters notifying owners are being sent out in March. And Oreo is releasing a new out-of-this-world cookie flavor. Oreo Space Dunk cookies are stuffed with blue and pink marshmallowy flavored cosmic cream and popping candies that can create a big bang with every bite. The cookies also come with 5 gigantic galactic cutout shapes designed including rocket, astronaut, and a shooting star. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're dealing with the fog once again across the area, continuing to thicken up around the Joplin metro area. We've also got drizzle out there as well. And of course, with the fog comes the fog advisories. MoDOT cameras around the metro, it still looks okay the further east you go. It's still not great, but visibility is a little better here at 7th and Garden Grove. But as you can see, dealing with that fog everywhere else. Skywatch Storm Tracker, more showers continuing to roll into the area, and we will see more of those continue to work in from the south, from Oklahoma and then into Arkansas. And we'll deal with rain through at least the first half of our Thursday. Visibility across the region, the majority of us reporting less than a mile of visibility. And as we've mentioned, that includes many of the major highways around the area. Dense fog advisories today, Kansas, Missouri until noon. Oklahoma, Arkansas, they run until 9 a.m. So remember, use your low beams, not your high beams. And we have a complete list of things you need to know about using your headlights in the fog, whether it's dark or light, on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. 40 in Joplin, foggy in Pittsburgh. Had some heavy drizzle earlier down there, 37. Kids getting on the bus this morning. We're talking about 42 degrees with those showers out there and the fog with a calm breeze. And when that bus brings them home, 44, foggy still, and maybe a few peaks of sunshine for at least some of us. We'll have another look at your forecast here in just a moment. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break. But first, let's see what's happening with these fine folks in New York on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, EGOT winner John Legend will be here for a special deal segment with an exclusive on his skincare line, Loved One. We might be ordinary people, but it's not going to be an ordinary show. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
It's more than boosted with glycolic acid to cleanse, remove makeup, and gently exfoliate. Clinically tested to even skin tone. See visibly glowing skin with new Micellar Gentle Peeling Water by Garnier, naturally.
All right, time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states, starting in Fort Scott with Jonathan Ballou celebrating birthday number 2. A very happy birthday to you, Jonathan.
Trish Hersey is celebrating 8 years in Neosho, Missouri. She likes playing outside, collecting bugs, and roller skating. Happy birthday from Grandma and family. It's cute.
And we've got Elijah Heffer celebrating birthday number 11. Says, happy birthday, Mom and Dad love you. Happy birthday, Elijah.
Maddie Russell is celebrating her 12th birthday in Fort Scott, Kansas.
And in Frontenac, we've got Eli Maples celebrating birthday number 16. Happy birthday, Eli.
And we have another Sweet 16, Nick Doris.
And in Frontenac as well, we've got Cheyenne Heckert celebrating birthday number 21. A very happy birthday to you, Cheyenne.
Derek Scott Hudson is turning 25 in Southwest City, Missouri. Happy birthday from his mama who loves him very much. Aww.
All right, and over in Pittsburgh, we've got Nathan Watson celebrating birthday number 29. Happy birthday, Nathan.
Sophia Da Silva is celebrating 31 years in Baxter Springs, Kansas. She's a teacher at Riverton Middle School. Love Mom, Timberly, and Willow.
And in Humboldt, we've got Kara Chauncey celebrating birthday number 43. Happy birthday.
Steve Shadden is celebrating 63 years in Elsmore, Kansas.
And in Chanute, Carol Gerke celebrating birthday number 65. Very happy birthday to you, Carol, with love coming from your family. Another fantastic list of birthdays out there for us today. If folks want to celebrate on the KOAM Morning News, Amber, what do they need to do?
They can just send an email to us at birthdays@koamnewsnow.com, but make sure you add a little note and maybe a little photo. That'd be pretty cool.
We love both of those things. And of course, don't forget to make that deadline on the bottom of the screen just to ensure your birthday or anniversary makes it on the air at the appropriate time. All right, let's take a look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We're dealing with a third day in a row with dense fog. And believe it or not, we're probably going to make it a 4th day as we head into our Friday. So watch out. Dense fog across the area. We take a look at MoDOT cameras around the metro. And again, you can see that dense fog out there. It's not super dense, but it's dense enough. You need to slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. Make sure you're using your high beams, not your low beams. As we look at the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh, we've got the wet roads. Had some heavy drizzle out there and still dealing with that dense fog out there as well this morning. So you got to watch out. In fact, Most locations across the region reporting visibilities at or under 1 mile out there. Take a look at Miami and Grove, both reporting 0 visibility, and ran into some of that on the drive from here to here. Some 0 visibility points, or at least very low, so just be careful as you're heading out on your Thursday morning. Dense fog advisories, Kansas, Missouri until noon today, Oklahoma, Arkansas until 9 a.m. today. And again, wouldn't be surprised if we see more of these, as we're expecting more fog through the day and into our Friday as well. Take a look, Skywatch Storm Tracker really getting busy now. We're getting a lot more rain showers rolling into the area and starting to fill in, and we're going to be dealing with these rain showers as we go through the morning and into the early afternoon. Our camera 7th and range line, we've got the fog, we've got wet roadways, we've got 41 degrees with an east breeze at about 3 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region, again, off to the northwest, we're at low to mid 30s, and as you head further southeast, we go upper 30s. Got some low 40s out there. Monette, Cassville, both up there right now, and we're on our way to another mild day. It's just going to be a little dreary out there, but we're getting more much needed rain, and this rain expected to last with us again until the early afternoon, and then it will push out by about, say, 1, 2 o'clock, and then we'll have mostly cloudy skies. So some of us may see at least a few peaks of sunshine out there. Not everyone will, but some of us may get a little sunlight. And we'll deal with fog again tonight into tomorrow morning. And then Friday evening, we see the rain return across the area, and that rain will continue through the overnight hours. And as we go into Saturday, we're looking at snow chances out there. Now, the bad news is this is expected to be a heavy, wet snow, which means at times it could come down enough that it could reduce visibilities out there and lead to slick spots on the roadways. However, if you take a look at the temperatures, this is the other side of the coin. The good news is, because of the warmer weather, the rain, and the fact that it's not going to be super cold when it's snowing, we're not expecting it to stick to roadways, but grassy surfaces, definitely, and we could see an inch or so of snow on those grassy surfaces. So we've got good news and bad news with these snow chances, and even better news as we head into next week. We'll look at that 7-day forecast and have the news you need to know right after this. And when we make the switch to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., first, there were the memes, then a cake, and now shirts. Let's see why head coach Andy Reid's frozen mustache is still getting so much attention at 7 a.m.
Anniversary month at Ron's Supermarket as we celebrate 48 years serving customers in Southeast Kansas.
Here's your check of today's top headlines and news you need to know before you head out the door. Police in Neosho, Missouri are searching for a suspect in a shooting. It happened around 7:30 Tuesday at the 800 block of Riverside Drive. When officers arrived, they were told a man, 40-year-old Freddie Rodriguez of Neosho, was found in the street with a gunshot wound in his left arm and armpit. He was then located at the hospital in stable condition. Authorities say suspected shooter is 21-year-old Jose Rivera, who's also from Neosho. They say Rivera and Rodriguez know each other, and Rivera ran after the shooting. A warrant has been issued for Rivera's arrest. A Baxter Springs, Kansas man will spend 50 years behind bars for child sex crimes. A judge yesterday sentenced 40-year-old Jeremy Strout to 50 years in prison. In November, Strout was convicted of 3 counts of rape and 1 count of aggravated indecent liberties with a child. And it's police versus fire with the Battle of the Badges in Pittsburgh. The two departments are competing in their annual chili cook-off with the American Red Cross. People donating blood yesterday and today can both try both types of chili and vote for their favorite. Organizers say the event has brought in more than 100 signups for donations. The police and fire departments both say the competition is heating up. The winner of the Battle of the Badges will receive the 2024 trophy once all the votes are counted. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out that door.
We got dense fog to start the day, patchy fog through the day. We'll go mostly cloudy into the afternoon, rain lasting through about 1, 2 o'clock, highs in the upper 40s. As we head into this evening, cloudy skies, patchy dense fog at times, especially overnight as well. We'll go back into the upper 30s and low 40s, but take a look. We're going to go mid-50s tomorrow. Rain returns tomorrow night. Could see that rain-snow mix on Saturday. We're a little cool by the weekend, but as we head into next week, take a look. Temperatures warming up, upper 50s to near 60 by Wednesday with some additional shower chances next Tuesday. So much warmer weather on the way.
That's good to hear. Coming up today at noon, we're making Granny's moonshine pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Parents might soon be able to save more on their taxes. Coming up on CBS Mornings, CBS News business analyst Jill Schleichinger breaks down a proposed change recently introduced in Congress that aims to expand the child tax credit. That would be beneficial.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll learn about how gene therapy can restore the hearing of kids born with inherited deafness.
Plus, we'll learn the next steps for the Carthage City Council after they postponed the decision to censure one of their members. That's going to wrap it up for now. We're going to see you back here tomorrow at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.